Good afternoon. Welcome to WeatherGod's Wisdom, and I'm sorry about how last night's video sounded. I probably sounded like a crackhead. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about, once again, our winter storm that is now dominating the middle part of the country now over the Dakotas and Wisconsin and, pretty much the entire Midwest. That doesn't include Michigan. And even it does. And our dominant feature has now fully evolved into this very large system now that you see on satellite here, and it has verified as expected. And now we have another feature starting here to develop that on the tail end of this long line of the jet. And we have another system here that is going to be moving rather quickly and evolving rather quickly over the Great Lakes region, and you can see this on the NAM model run as this system comes up rather rapidly and shoots up into the Great Lakes and then kind of flings this nor'easter into the parts of Maine and Boston here, and Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Which leads again to the prolonged event that we're seeing here. And you can actually see this as well on the GFS model. All credit goes to Tropical Tidbits for these model runs. This GFS, and you can see that it evolves rather rapidly in here as two systems, one over here and one over here, now gyrate around each other. And the result is a very messy system in here that is over Lake Huron and stretches all the way from Dakotas to the far east of the eastern seaboard even, and you just have this kind of giant mess here. You have a lot of sleet and ice falling over areas that you really don't want it to fall. Thankfully, it's north of New York City and the Philadelphia areas where the majority of the travel will be going. And now most of the snow has actually lifted north of Chicago in the past couple of runs. So this is good news. A little bit of snow over Chicago, but not much. Most of it's lake effect and local snow. You have a lot of lake effect snow coming off of Lake Michigan. And as the system kind of moves out, you can see lake effect snow comes off of Erie and Ontario. And still coming up of Michigan and Superior and even Huron. But pretty much what has happened today in model runs is they have shifted more towards a nor'easter event that is happening here that is too far north to affect any areas in the mid-Atlantic and New England or New York and Boston or New York and Boston metro area regions. And so the effects on New Year's travel should probably be a little more not as severe, and that's good. So you see this nor'easter kind of lifts out of here, and then we have a system developing here. I'll get to that later. And you can see on the CIMSS model a similar thing happens. The snow shield is a little larger because of a larger branch into the system, and the system's just larger in general. And we're going to have to watch the evolution of this because at hour 30 on the GFS model, it's much smaller but much more intense, and in the CIMSS, it's a lot larger and not as intense, but it commands a very large surface area. And you can see the differences here. And so we'll kind of have to watch the evolution of this feature and see how strong it gets. And it ultimately relies on how fast this gets out of the way. And yeah. So this is the NAM model run again. Look at that. It's beautiful. And yeah, this is actually turning out to not be as bad as what you thought it was going to be. But again, we still have a little bit of room here for obviously two different runs to happen. For one is much more messy, and one is a little more clean for like the Midwest. But regardless, blizzard conditions will be are ongoing right now in the Dakotas and Minnesota. On this moist side of the system right here. This is where the blizzard conditions will be happening. And you have kind of now, what will end up happening is a Great Lakes blizzard here, and then it should move out. But it'll take a while for this to all get out of here, so you'll be having several hours of snow that is pretty heavy. So we could have accumulations pretty high. Let's actually check that. Yeah, you get a pretty good amount in here. Not too much, but a notable amount. You get like about, in some areas, especially closer to the lakes, you get about a foot of snow. You get close to a foot in central Wisconsin and western Michigan. But you can see here, a lot of snow has already fallen on the Dakotas and Minnesota. And then you can see how much snow has fallen here. But that might be also compensating for wintry mix and sleet. So those numbers might be a little inflated. But you can see the CMC has a much larger system, much stronger nor'easter in here, but does not ever bring snow to New York City or ice or anything to New York City, which is all very good. So, the impact on New Year's travel will not be as horrible as forecasted yesterday, but it's still bad. So, yeah. You guys have a good day. You can catch me on Twitch tonight. I'll be streaming some Pokemon and on the shiny egg grind. And yeah, I'll start posting Twitch highlights on here, and I might actually do a separate video regarding what I want this channel to be, because I want it to be weather, but I also want it to like be a bunch of other stuff too. But weather is like kind of the main thing here for now, at least. But anyway, you guys have a good evening, and stay safe as always, and remember to thank the weather god. Yeah, I'll see you guys around.